समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं हरिः ओम्. Udutadi is a small village in the Shimoga district of Karnataka. In the 12th century, there lived a devout Veerashaiva couple, Nirmal Shetty and Sumati. In the year 1130, after many years of marriage, they had a beautiful baby daughter. They called her Mahadevi, taking her as a blessing from Lord Shiva. Veerashaivism is a tradition where the worship of the iconic Shiva Linga is in the center. Devotees practice the eightfold path of devotion, Ashtavarna, Panchakarma, the fivefold path of moral conduct, and Shatsthala, the sixfold path for spiritual evolution. As she grew up, Mahadevi constantly heard recitation and chanting of vacanas. Vacanas are poetic compositions expressing the experiences of mystics, essentially the teaching of the scriptures, but easily available and understood by the common person. Linga Diksha ceremony was performed for Mahadevi by her guru, whom she revered. She also developed a deep devotion for her beloved Lord Cennamallikarjuna, Lord Shiva, beautiful, tender as the jasmine, and straightforward. She also had a relationship of the Sharanasati Lingapati seen in the Veerashaiva tradition, which is where the surrendered devotee offers herself as a spouse to the Lord, and she considered herself wedded to Cennamallikarjuna. When she was in her teenage years, she was spotted in a crowd by the local king Kaushika, and he was captivated by her beauty. So he sent messengers to her parents' home requesting a hand in marriage. For Mahadevi, who had already given a heart to Cennamallikarjuna, she was not interested in worldly alliance. But she knew that if she refused, it would cause problems to her parents. And so she agreed to marry the king on 3 conditions. That she would be allowed to meditate as she pleased, that she would be allowed to be with devotees as she pleased, and that she could serve her guru as she pleased. For the king, these seemed very simple and he agreed readily. But for Mahadevi, these were sacred vows and they could not be broken. Very soon after the marriage, the king broke all 3 promises. Now Mahadevi left the palace, taking nothing with her. It is said that she even did not take her clothes and she was clad in space. She now walked hundreds of miles with the sole purpose of reaching Kalyana. At Kalyana, there was the heart of the Veerashaiva spiritual movement called the Anubhava Mantapa. Great saints like Basavanna and Allama Prabhu, along with devotees and scholars gathered, and discourses, dialogues, and spiritual guidance were given to all the seekers. So when Mahadevi arrived there as a Digambara, a naked ascetic, the great saints Allama Prabhu and Basavanna understood her spiritual eminence. But for the assembled, they did not want to have any doubts in their minds. So they subjected her to questioning. So they asked her how she appeared there without any clothes. Fearlessly, Mahadevi said, "When it is only the Lord's eye everywhere, what is there to hide?" And when they asked her why she was covering herself with the long tresses of her hair, she replied, "To hide that which is not there from the world." And perplexed, they asked her, she speaks as if she does not even have a body. And to that she answered, if it's only the Lord who's all, where is individual? Where is all these material relationships? Convinced about her divine essence and her level of understanding, they very endearingly called her Akka. They accepted her and she was called as Akka, the beloved elder sister. Mahadevi spent several months in the company of the saints and sages, reveling in all that was going on. But very soon, her longing to be with her Cennamallikarjuna intensified. Under the guidance of Allama Prabhu, she set forth again on a very long and arduous journey to Sri Shailam in the neighboring Andhra Pradesh. As she neared the hills of Sri Shailam, she was on fire. She longed to be unified with her Lord. She passed through plantain groves on her way, and as she did so, she had a feeling that she was discarding her matter envelopments. When she arrived at the abode of Cennamallikarjuna, she was completely absorbed and attained spiritual union with her beloved Lord. It is said she spent the rest of her days in a cave, absorbed in the meditation as well as worship of the Shivalinga. It is said that she left her mortal body at the age of 30. Akka has composed more than 400 vachanas. Her Ankita Cennamallikarjuna appears in them all. She also has written great works, Akkagala, Pitike, Yoganga Trividi, and Srishtiya Vachana. Her teachings are an inspiration and guidance to all spiritual seekers. Now, I'd like to explore a couple of her vachanas, because just delving into them, we can see where she was on her spiritual journey, what her level of understanding was, and her greatness. In one of the vachanas, which she composed probably as she left Udutadi, with great conviction and trust in her Cennamallikarjuna, she says, Hasivadade urolage bhikshannagaluntu. Trushayadare ಕೆರೆ ಹಳ್ಳ ಬಾವಿಗಳುಂಟು ಅಂಗಶೀತಕ್ಕೆ ಬೀಸಾದ ಅರಿವೆಗಳುಂಟು ಶಯನಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾಳು ದೇಗುಲಗಳುಂಟು ಚೆನ್ನಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನಯ್ಯ ಆತ್ಮಸಂಗಾತಕ್ಕೆ ನೀನು ನನಗುಂಟು. Here she says, to appease hunger, I can get begged food. To quench my thirst, water from ponds, lakes and wells will suffice. And if I needed clothes to cover me from the cold, there'll be discarded rags. And for shelter, the dilapidated temple roofs will suffice. But for me, you're my soulmate, Cennamallikarjuna. Through this, we understand how little physical needs she even had. And such an understanding only can come because of her unconditional love and unswerving faith in her beloved Lord. And such a faith can lead to total surrender and acceptance that the Lord will take care of everything for her. And not only that, she became fearless because of that. If her Cennamallikarjuna was with her at all times, what is there to fear? So then such journeys that she undertook, which is almost impossible to understand, is just so natural to her. And in this, the dispassion she showed towards her own physical body, that she even could come out without any clothes, really begs a question. Did she even have body identification? I don't think so. She was so one with her Cennamallikarjuna that this physical body did not even mean anything to her. The second vachana that I want to explore is another beautiful verse which must have come from her observation and from experiences of life. She says, ಬೆಟ್ಟದ ಮೇಲೊಂದು ಮನೆಯ ಮಾಡಿ ಮೃಗಗಳಿಗೆ ಅಂಜದಿಡೆ ಎಂತಯ್ಯ ಸಮುದ್ರದ ತಡಿಯಲೊಂದು ಮನೆಯ ಮಾಡಿ ನೊರೆ ತೆರೆಗಳಿಗಂಜದಿಡೆ ಎಂತಯ್ಯ ಸಂತೆಯೊಳಗೊಂದು ಮನೆಯ ಮಾಡಿ ಶಬ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾಚಿದಡೆ ಎಂತಯ್ಯ ಚೆನ್ನಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ ದೇವ ಕೇಳಯ್ಯ ಲೋಕದೊಳಗೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ ಬಳಿಕ ಸ್ತುತಿ ನಿಂದೆಗಳು ಬಂದರೆ ಮನದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೋಪವ ತಾಳದೆ ಸಮಾಧಾನಿಯಾಗಿರಬೇಕು. It looks like the initial 3 sentences looks like her observation of people who are constantly complaining after making the choices by themselves. So whether it's building a house on the forest hilltops or building a house on the shores of the ocean or in the midst of a marketplace, why complain about wild animals, about froth and foam, or about noise, she says. So making it very evident that we place ourselves in the situations we are in, and then complaining and grumbling, we cause so much of disturbances to ourselves. But actually, it's the next line which shows her depth of understanding about life. She says that even this life is our choice. We have decided to participate in this life by our previous karmas and their results. Now, having made our own choice, why should we get upset with honor and dishonor and all kinds of dualities which are bound to happen because that's a fact of life? She says, bear them with equanimity. In and through this, it becomes evident that Akka was already established in her true self. Call it her union with Cennamallikarjuna or call it establishment in that truth. That's why she is able to express this equanimity in all situations and with total clarity and wisdom. I was exposed to Akka Mahadevi's Vachana and her life history even as a child. And I remember admiring her even when I was that young. How did she, a young girl, walk out as she did, and this too in the 12th century? How did she have that courage? I had grown up in a very protective family atmosphere, so this to me was incomprehensible. And not only that, I have to actually say, I really did not understand the depth of her vachanas. Only now, with the background of life experiences and all the learning that I have done, can I really understand and see her spiritual eminence in these vachanas. Vachanas of Akka Mahadevi show how quickly she transcended from duality and then to spiritual union with her Cennamallikarjuna, and actually the Sarvatma Bhava that she exhibited in life. To me, she's a great source of inspiration. I feel like her adventurous spirit attracted me most to her, but now she inspires me and makes me aware that if I'm dedicated and devoted single-pointedly to my path and goal, that it is possible for union with the Lord in this very life and live with that wisdom in this very life. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.